Right, so before I go into the main topics today, let me take a bit of time to do a bit of introduction of my company. Okay, so ACAT has been in the market since 2009, and we are mostly dealing in softwares and trainings. And then on next slide over here, you can actually see some of the products, and on top of that, we also provide trainings for the products that we carry. So you can see some 2D softwares, 3D as well. And then we have rendering software like Lumion, V-Ray, and supporting software like Microsoft and Adobe. Okay, so these are some of the things that we are doing at the moment. And then let's take a look at the main product that we'll be showcasing today, which is Lumion. So Lumion is actually a very good rendering software that can actually help, especially for those group of people who are in the who are architects and who are interior design. They can help them to create render image, videos, 360 panorama in a very short time. Right, so let's say you are given a very short time and then you need to get your render out. This will be a software to go to. Okay, and then Lumion is compatible with most of the 3D tools out there. Some of the prominent one will be SketchUp, Revit, and then AutoCAD. So you can see some of the software over here. Okay, so let's take a look at the main topics that we'll be covering today. So we'll be actually showing 4 different so-called actions today. So the first part, I will actually be showing you how to animate the construction process. Right, so let's say you have built up your models in SketchUp or Revit, and then you want to actually animate how the construction of that building will be done. You can actually do it in Lumion by animating the imported models. So later I will show you how to do that. And then the second part, I'll be showing you how to animate imported models. And then the third example, I'll be showing you how to animate cars. And then last but not least, I'll end it with how to animate lightings in Lumion. Okay, and then we can have a preview of the 4 things that I'll be covering later on. So the construction process will be looking something like this. So you can see the models will be dropped onto your scene one by one, depending on how you prepare your data. And then the next one will be animating a person actually opening a door and then entering the building and then walking up the stairs. Okay, and then the third one will be animating cars. So you can see there are a lot of moving cars around the scene, and then at the end of it, you can see some cars is actually parking inside the parking lot. So we'll be showing you something like this later on. And then last but not least will be the animating of the colors of the lightings in the building. Okay, so this will be a for example that I'll be going through later on. So let's go straight to the software demonstration. Okay, so for the first part, the animating of the construction process, right? First of all, there are 2 steps to it. The first step, we need to prepare the data to be imported into Lumion. So the preparation part we'll be doing in the software called Revit. Okay, and then once we prepare the data already, we can import it into Lumion, and then we can do the necessary setup to animate the construction process. So over here, you can see this is the Revit software, and then over here we have a model that will be importing it into Lumion, but you can't just dump everything here into one single file and then import it into Lumion. We need to separate them according to how many processes that you have in your construction. Okay, so let's say I want to so-called separate the data, right? What I need to do in Revit, all I need to do is select everything on the model over here. Okay, so once you have selected everything here, you can click on the filter button at the top at the ribbon, and then this filter pop-up dialog box will appear, and then it will show you all the models that you have selected so far. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck those that I want to export. Okay, so let's say I want the doors, the entourage, the furniture, the generic models, the lightings, and then last but not least, the windows. Okay, so all the things that I unchecked are the ones that I want to be remaining in the file, right? So I will just click OK here. Okay, once I click OK, I just need to right click on the selected model. And then over here, I will go to hide in view, and then I will select category. Okay, so once I click on that option, you can see all that will be left over will be the models that I am interested in. So you can see there'll be windows, there'll be some furnitures, doors, etc. So these are the things that I will be exporting into one single file, right? So after I select the things that I want, I can go to the ribbon. Under Lumion, I can click on export. Okay, make sure you use the same insertion point for all the files that you'll be exporting from Revit, right? So for the rest of the options, I will be keeping it to the default, and then I will click on the export button. Okay, and then I will be saving the files over here. So you can see beforehand, I've already exported all the files out, and then I purposely rename all the files according to alphabetical order, so that later on it'll be easier for me to animate the construction process according to the way that I want. Okay, so I'll just select this file called door, windows, and furnitures, and then I'll just write files. Okay, so once I'm done preparing all the data that I want, I can then minimize the Revit software. I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to go back to the Lumion software. So you can see this is the file that I'll be importing all the models that is exported from Revit. So the first thing I will be going to the import button, and then I'm going to look for the model files. So over here, I have all the files that I'll be importing in. So the first file that I'll be bringing in will be the ground plane. Okay, so I'll be importing it in. Okay, let me check. Okay, so I've already imported in before that. So let me delete away all the files. Okay, I'll import in again. So I'll select ground plane, and then I will put the model into this dedicated folder under Revit model. And then I'll place the face of the first model over here. Then let me change the view a bit. Okay, so once I bring in the first model, right, I need to adjust the position of this model according to the origin of the scene in Lumion. So I just need to go to the select button, select this ground plane, and then I'm going to type in the coordinate that I want to move this model to. So the coordinate that I want will be 0. And then for the Y position, I want to leave the models a bit higher than the normal level of the ground. So I'll be leaving it 0.5 meter above the ground level. And then for the Z, I will put it to 0. Okay, so that will be the position of the first model that I want. And then I'll proceed to put in the rest of the model. Okay, so the rest of the model, I'll just put it accordingly, just beside the first model that I've imported. Okay, so this will take a while. Okay, so we are almost there. 3 more files to go. Okay, so the last one will be the wall, and then I'll just put it to the side over here. Okay, so you can actually see all the models that has been already placed into my scene. So the next thing that I'll be doing is I need to adjust all the position of the imported models to be the same as the first model. So you can see this is the first model that we have imported in. Okay, so first of all, I need to select this, the first model, to use this as a reference, and then followed by selecting the rest of the model. So I'm going to move a bit to the right, and then I'm going to Windows select everything over here. Okay, so once I Windows select all the models on the scene, on this window over here, there's an option for me to align the position of all the models. So I'm going to click on this, and then straight away, all the models will be aligned according to the position of the first model, right? So now I'm going to zoom in, okay, and then we are ready to do the animation of the construction process. So in order to do that, we need to head over to the movie button on the bottom right, and then over here we will be recording a scene. So I'll just click on the record button. Okay, so first of all, we need to capture the snapshot of the model that we have imported in. So I'm going to zoom in a bit, and then I'll find a sweet spot, and then I'll just take a snapshot over here. And then I'm going to change the duration of this video to be around 10 seconds, and then I'll be saving the files. Okay, so once I've already created the snapshot that I want, I will proceed to go and add the animation effect that I want. So I can click on the add effect button and then go to animation, and then the animation that we'll be using to animate the construction process will be this called sky drop, right? So I'll just click on that, and then over here you can just click on the edit button on the left side. Okay, now on the model itself, you can see a small radio button. So when you hover your mouse over the radio button, you can see the model file that you are hovering on. So it shows a ground plane, right? So you need to select the model according to the processes or the first model that you want to drop from the sky. So I'll be selecting the first file over here, A, and then I'll select the second file, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. So the file that starts with I will be the last file that will be dropped from the sky, right? Then over here, I'll just click on the back button, and then we can actually have a preview of how the animations will be done. Okay, so you can see the shadows is already coming in, but it's still not inside the scene yet. So you can see at around time when it's about 5 seconds, the first model will be dropped from the sky. So you need to determine when you want the model to be dropped. So let's say I want the first model to be dropped near to time when it's about 1 second, right? I just need to so-called pull the time bar over here to about 1 second. And then I need to play with this offset option here. So currently it's set to 20. So I'll just play with the slider over here. I'll just drag it. And then you can see I start to see the shadows already coming in. right? So let's say about 350 around that. Okay, so I want the shadows to be coming in at about 1 second over here. Okay, so and I will just click on the play button again, and then you can see how the construction process will be done. So it's actually dropping at a very fast speed. So even before it ends at 10 seconds, the model is already formed. So let's say I want the last model to be dropped at about 9 seconds. So I need to drag the slider to about 9 seconds. And then over here, we can play with the spacing option. So I'm going to drag the spacing option here. And then you can see at about 9.5, you can see the last model is now dropping from the sky. Okay, so it's 9.5. So let's say I want it to be about 9.8. I will just double click here, and then I will type in, double click, and then I will just type in 9.8, about that. Okay, so after that, I will play the video again. Okay, so you can see the animating of the construction process based on the options that you have configured earlier on. Okay, then about 9 seconds, the last model will drop, and then this will be the end of the process. Okay, so this is how it's done. And then to finish things off, you can actually apply some custom style. So I'll be adding a daytime custom style, and then you can see the effects is already applied to the model. So let's say you want to see how the effects stack up according to your model, right? You can just click in the screen over here, and then you can see it's actually giving you a preview of how the effects will be affecting your models. Okay, so after you are happy with the effects that you have applied, you can actually start to render the clip, and then you can actually control the output quality, the frames per second, and then the resolution as well for the clip. Okay, so beforehand I've already rendered the clip, so I can actually let you see how the video look like. So you can see this will be the video. Okay, a 10-second clip, a pretty fast one. Okay, so that's about it. That's about it for the first example. So for the second example, I'll be actually showing you how to animate imported models. In this case, I'll be importing a door, and then I'll be animating this door opening and closing, and then I also animate a person actually opening that door and then walking into the building and then walking up the stairs. Okay, so I have already prepared another model beforehand with all the materials and some objects already populated around the scene. So I'm going to open that. Okay, so you can see this is the model that I'll be showing you how it's done. So first thing you'll notice that the materials has been changed for that building, and then you can see the surrounding. I've already placed some light fixtures and trees around it. Okay, so the first thing I'll be doing is I need to importing the model which is doors, right? So I will just go to the imported models button here, and then over here I have a door. So I'm going to put it in. So let me zoom in a bit. Okay, I'm going to rotate this door because it's not at the correct rotation. Okay, and then I will be placing the door somewhere here. Okay, it's done. So I've already placed the door over at the position that I want. And the next thing I'll be putting in a person that is animating the walking effect. So I need to go to the people and animals category, and then I need to go to page 4 over here, and then there's a man Asian 0002 walk over here. So I'll just put it in here. I rotate the person so that it's facing the screen. Okay, so after I'm done, I'm ready to create the animation for the door and this person walking. So I'm going to head to the movie button, and then over here I'll go to the second slot over here for me to create the video clip, and then I'm going to click on the record button. Okay, first of all, I need to create a few snapshots of the video clip that I want. So I'm going to zoom all the way down here towards this person. Okay, somewhere over here, I'll be getting the first snapshot, and then I'll get to the second position over here. Okay, and then I'll take the second snapshot, and then somewhere about here, okay, I'll get the third snapshot, and then I'll move in towards the door. Okay, that'll be the fourth one, and then I'll go in, the fifth, the sixth, then the last one. And then I'll make the whole duration of this to be 15 seconds. And then we can actually play the video clip and have a look at how it goes. Okay, so now we need to create some animations for the door and the person. So in order to do that, we need to add the effects. So we will be looking at this animation called Advanced Move. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on the Edit button. Okay, so first of all, we need to so-called know how you want to animate the person walking. So over here, I'm trying to get this person to walk, example, from here. He's going to walk forward by a few steps, and then move to the left, and then finally towards the door. Okay, so if you take a look at this movement over here, there will be 4 positions that I need to define. So over here, this is the starting position, and then this is the second position, and then this is the third, and this will be the fourth. All right, and then we need to find out what is the time that you want the person to be at this particular location. Okay, so I'll go back to my video, and then I'll play the video. Okay, I'll pause over here. So at about 2 seconds, I want the person to be already at the second position, right? And then I'll play the video again. And then at about 4.5 to 5 seconds, I want the person to be already at the third position. Okay, and then I'll continue to play. And then at about 7 seconds, I want the person to be at the fourth location already. Okay, so just remember the 2, 5, 7 second the location will do. So I will be going back to my edit button here, Okay, so first of all, I need to define the starting location of my person. So I'm going to click on rotate heading button at the bottom left, and then I'm going to select the person, and then I'll set the first position of my character here. So once I set the location, right, you can see at the bottom there is a time bar over here, which means that we have already defined the starting position of the person at time equals to 0. Okay, now I'm going to drag the time to about 2 seconds. Okay, and then I'm going to move this person forward by about 2 meters. Okay, so you can see another time bar will be created on my timeline over here. And then next, I'm going to drag the bar to about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to drag this person to the left. Okay, to about maybe a bit further in front. Okay, so about this position here, that will be the position at about 5 seconds. And then about 7 seconds, I want the person already standing just in front of the door. So I'm going to move him in front. Okay. Okay, now at this position, at this particular time, right, I want the door to be starting to be opening so that the person can go in. Okay, so I'm going to select the door. So at about time equals to 7 seconds, I want to set the door to be closed. So you can see the time bar is already set over there, and then the door is closed. And then I'm going to move the time bar to about 8.5, maybe about 8 seconds. Okay, so at about 8 seconds, I want the door to be fully open. Okay, so I'm going to click on the rotate button, and then I'm going to rotate the door to be open. Okay, and then we are done with the door, so we'll just focus on the person. So at about time equals to 9.5 seconds, about that, I'm going to move the person in towards the building. Okay, and then I'm going to drag the time all the way to the end. And then this time now I'll move the person walking up the stairs to the left. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so all the way up the stairs. And then I will go to the back button, and then I can start to preview the whole video. Okay, so this is the whole animation. And then before we actually render the clip, we can add in the effects. So I will just go to the custom style, and then I will be selecting daytime again. And then I will click inside the window, and then we can actually preview the effects. Okay, so it looks pretty good, the effects. So same thing, after you're done, you're okay with the effects, you can go to the render clip button here, and then you can render according to the quality that you want. Okay, and then I've already rendered the clip, so over here you can actually see it also. Okay, with the effects already put in. Okay, so that will be the second part of my demonstration. The third part, I'll be actually animating cars, right? So let me go back to the scene again, and then I'm going to go to the other section of the scene. Okay, so right here you can see there's a parking lot, and then I'll be showing you how to actually quickly place vehicles or cars into the scene. So you can click on the transport button here, and then I'm going to select the first car here called car 001, and then at the bottom I'll be selecting mass placement, and then I'm going to rotate the car to be facing the front, and then I'll place the first car over here, and then I will drag this thing all the way to the right, depending how many vehicle you want. Okay, once I click over there, you can see they'll preview the number of cars that will be placed onto your screen. So you can actually control how many cars you want by playing with the number of items. But first, I need to rotate the direction, right? So the direction, I want it to be 90 degrees. So I'll just type in 90 here. And then I'll set the number of items to about 13. Okay, so you can see the cars are exactly at the position that I want inside their slots. And then we can also do some variation of the cars, because you can see now the cars are looking pretty much the same, right? So I'll go to the sport car, and then let's put in some different vehicle here. And then I'll go to the SUV, and then the vans. Okay, so now you can see a different variety of cars within the parking lot, and then we'll click on the confirm button, and then we will also place the car in the other side of the parking lot to rotate it to the other direction. Okay, then I'll place all the way here. And then I'm going to change the direction here to -90. And then I'll change the number of items to 10. Okay, so it looks perfect here. After that, confirm it. And then now I'm going to place another 2 cars over here. So maybe one car over here. Okay, maybe one here, and then another sport car somewhere over here. Okay, so done with this. And then now I'm going to mass place cars around the building as well. So I'm going to get a top-down view of the whole scene. Okay, let me move up a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to place cars around the building on the road itself. So I'm going to go to the same option, and then I'll select the first car here, and then I'll be choosing mass placement. Okay, so I'm going to rotate the car facing to the right, and then I'll put the first car here, and then I'm going to drag all the way to the right. Then I'll continue to put in the cars according to the direction of the road. Okay, so I'm almost done for the first one. Okay, so I've already placed the cars that I want around the road, but then you can see the cars is not facing the correct direction. So I'm going to change the direction by moving this bar here to about 0. So I'm going to just type in 0 here. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the number of items to about 14, and then okay. Okay, so you can see now the cars is actually moving in the clockwise direction. So the next car that I'll be putting in will be moving in the anti-clockwise direction. Right, so I'll just click here. Okay, so basically I'm repeating the same steps for the next row of cars over here. Okay, and then the direction currently is 0, so I'm going to turn it to the other side. Okay, so now it's facing the correct direction. Okay, after that, I will just click on the confirm button, and then we are done with placing all the cars that we need. I'm going to zoom it back to the bottom of the scene. Okay, now I will actually put in some other moving objects, like for example, a cyclist over here. So I can go to the people and animals, and then over here I can look for cyclists. So over here I can just choose this, a person that's riding on a bicycle. Oops. Okay, I need to choose the single placement mode here, and then I'll place another one somewhere down the other side of the road here. Okay, so I'm done with placing all the cars and the bicycles, and then I will head over to the movie button, and then I'll go to one of the empty slot over here, and I'll go to the record button. Okay, first of all, I need to create the snapshot that I want for my video. So let me go to the position that I want, somewhere over here. Okay. So somewhere over here, I'll be getting the first snapshot, and then the second snapshot will be somewhere over here. And then I'll move down towards the parking lot, and then over here I'll take the third snapshot, and this will be the fourth one, and then this will be the fifth. And then I'll make the whole duration of the clip to be 15 seconds maximum. Okay, after that, we'll do the animation of the cars. So the first thing, I will animate the cars that's moving around the building. So the effects that I'll be bringing in will be this effect called Mass Move. So I'm going to click on that, edit, and then I'm going to get the top-down view as well, so that I can edit it easier. Okay, so about this view will be just right for me. Okay, and then on the bottom left corner, you can click on the Add Path button. And then I'm going to create my path for the vehicles. Right, so I'm going to click. Okay. So I just need to define a few points for my path. Okay, so once I've defined the path that I want, I can actually control the path width. Over here, there is a bar that I can play with. So I'm going to increase the path width to cover all the vehicles that is on the road. Okay, and then we can also control the speed of the car. So I'm going to set it to about 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, about that. And then over here, you can toggle on and off the objects that you want to be moving within the path, right? So you can see we only have cyclists and cars inside. So I'll just turn off the imported models, okay? And then make it a dual direction over here. Okay, after that, click on the back button, and then now we can actually preview the moving vehicles. So you can see the cars are actually moving in different directions. Okay, so we are done with this. The next thing that we'll be doing is to simulate the parking of the two cars within the parking lot. So I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to pause somewhere over here, just about 7 seconds. Okay, so at about 7 seconds, I want the car, this first car, to be parking inside the parking lot already. So I'm going to click on the effect called Advanced Move, edit, and then move the time to about 7 seconds. Okay, let me change the view of my scene. Okay, and then I'll be setting the position of my car over here. Okay, and then you can see the time bar over here at time equals to 7 seconds. And then I'll move the bar to about 8 seconds, maybe 8.5. And then I'll move the car inside the parking slot at about 8.5 seconds. Okay, and then at times when it's about 8.5 seconds, I want the car, this sport car over here, to be at this particular position. And then at about time equals to 13 seconds, I'll move the car all the way to the left. Okay, all the way to the left over here, near to the parking slot that is going to park. Okay, after that, at about 13.8, maybe 14. Okay, I will rotate the car and then pull it all the way to the end, and then the car will move all the way into the parking lot. Done. So I'm going to preview the whole thing again. Okay, so that will be the whole video clip. You can see at the end it's a bit cropped away. So I will just edit the clip and then I'll change it to about 16 seconds so that I can get to the end of the clip, right? So let's say about here. I'm going to play it again. Okay. So this look okay to me. Okay, after that, we'll just put in a custom style effect effect over here, go to daytime, and then we can actually preview how the effects will behave on our objects. Okay, so it looks pretty good. So if you are ready to render, you same thing, you can go to the render clip button, and then you can control the settings that you want, and then you can export out the clip. Right? And then now we'll move on to the last step. The last step will be how to animate lightings. Okay, so let me move to another scene of the building. So maybe somewhere over here. Okay, so in fact, I've already placed the lightings inside the building and around the building as well. So over here, if you go to the top right, you can see there are a lot of layers that I've already created for cars, for trees, and then I've hidden 2 layers called lights and building lights. Right. So first, let me turn the weather to nighttime. So I'm going to change the sun height and then put it to nighttime. So it's complete darkness at the moment. So I'm going to turn on the layer by going to the layers option at top. Okay, so you can see once I turn on the layer, you can see the lights will turn on, right? So now I'm going to show you how to place lightings, and then later on I will show you how to animate the light, right? So I'll just zoom in to the 3rd level of this building. Okay, so you can see basically most of the area of the building is already brightly lit up, but then over here I've left out a few just for demo purpose. Okay, so I'm going to put a light particularly on this light fixture over here. So I'll go to the light option, and then the light that I'll be putting in will be the area light. So I'll just click on this, and then you can see it will actually snap onto the fixture over here. Okay, so I'll just put it here, and then I'm going to adjust the settings for it. So I'm going to make it wider, and then I'm going to show the light source, and then I'm going to turn on the night activation as well. Okay. Okay, after that, I need to copy this to the other side of the light fixture. So I'm going to copy one of it, going to drag it. It's pretty easy for me to do that. So I'm going to drag it and then just put it here. Okay. So once I'm done with the putting all the light that I want, I can head to the movie button, and then I'll go to the 4th clip here. So I've already captured the first snapshot of the video clip that I want. So I'm going to go to the edit clip button, and then I'm going to capture a few more snapshots. So I'm going to go to the 2nd spot here, and then the 3rd spot over here. And then I'm going to make it 10 seconds. Okay, after that, I will click on this animate light color effects that I've brought in. And then I have to select the light that I want to animate. So I'm going to go to the edit button, and then you'll be able to see some of the lights, right? I've already enabled them, right? So I'm going to enable the 2 lights that I've recently created over here at the 3rd floor. Okay, so I'm going to enable these 2. So you can see for the rest of the light, I've already enabled them. Okay, so I'm going to head out of the building again, and then I'm going to go back to the main page, and then I'll take a look at the video clip. Okay, so that's the video clip, and then now we need to animate the lightings. So during the first at times equals to 0, right? I need to click on this create keyframe button for all the 3 bar over here, and then I'm going to scroll down the brightness to about 0.3. Okay, so at times equal to 0, that will be the color of the light inside the building. And then I'm going to scroll the time all the way to about 2.5 seconds. And then I'm going to click on the create keyframe button. And then I'll turn down the red and the blue option. So at time equal to 2.5, right, the light will be transforming to red color. And then I will scroll to 5 seconds. And then I'll click on the create keyframe button, and then the color will be a green color. And then we'll scroll to the next time will be about 7.5 seconds. Create keyframe, and then the color will be blue color. And then at the last, at about 10 seconds, the color I want will be yellow color. So I'm going to turn on the red and the green. Okay, and then I can play it. So you can see it will transform red, followed by green, and then blue, and then finally yellow. Okay, so this is the last part of the webinar. Okay, I hope you all have enjoyed it. So before I end this webinar, is there any questions that you want to ask?